Donald Trump was so shook up by Kamala Harris's nomination speech at the DNC that he is still reeling a day later. He is just so upset, so hurt. Poor little Donald, as we always say on this show, both the oldest person to ever run for president and a child. And this unraveling of Donald Trump, his anger and how upset he is with that incredible speech is incredibly revealing in his interviews, the speeches he has given since, even if we can call them speeches, I don't think we can, but especially in the Truth Social posts that he has been making lately. We saw Donald Trump live posting through the speech, lying and really ranting and raving as he always does, but especially losing it more so than usual. And that continued today when Donald Trump posted an incredibly weird video reacting to the speech. Again, it's still in his head rent-free, but a moment that I don't think got enough coverage before we get to that was Donald Trump's appearance on Newsmax after Kamala Harris's speech. And I think it's important for framing what he posted on Truth Social. So first, I want to check out this clip.
But I will tell you, I just watched it, very nonspecific. She didn't talk about many things like interest rates, China, fracking in anywhere, let alone Pennsylvania, crime, poverty, trade deficits, child trafficking, woman trafficking, drugs, the border. She didn't talk about the most important things. It was a very general speech.
So as we see here, and as we saw with Donald Trump's other Truth Social post, he's really grasping at straws to come up with any attack on Kamala Harris because he really just can't. There's nothing that Donald Trump can say policy-wise or record-wise, and he certainly can't talk about his character because we know who Donald Trump is, the convicted felon in this race, the only convicted felon to ever run for president. But I think especially something that reveals how bad Donald Trump's character comes from something he said in that clip, saying that Kamala Harris isn't focusing enough on, to use Donald Trump's words, woman trafficking enough. And I find that funny coming from Donald Trump, someone who was incredibly good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And yeah, this photo shows it right there. One of many photos of Donald Trump and his good friend Jeffrey Epstein together. And it's not just that. New reporting details their relationship was closer maybe than we even knew before. New reporting found that Donald Trump used Jeffrey Epstein's former jet for his campaign appearances. So yeah, Donald, I don't think you're one to speak on that issue, especially because of some other crimes that you have committed. And so, yeah, I don't think you will be the one to talk about women's issues in this campaign, Donald, especially when you're trying to lie about your record and the policy that you want to push, like he did in this clip.
A lot of people would have thought, but everybody wanted that issue brought back to the states, the legal scholars, Democrats, Republicans, everybody. And we did that. And, you know, it's really become a almost, I think, look, I'm not going to say it's an issue that leans toward us, but people are happy. Every legal scholar wanted it brought back. They didn't want it in the federal government. And I was able to get it out, get it brought back to the states, and now the states are all voting on it, and it's where it should be. And I think you two agree with that. It's exactly where it should be. And this has gone on for 52 years. And now our country can be brought back and brought together.
You know, in this clip, Donald Trump both told the truth. I think he kind of let it slip, but of course, then he also lied. He said that the issue of abortion is not one that leans towards Republicans. And I think that is the understatement of the century, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, one of the most unpopular political decisions in American history. But he also then tried to backtrack by saying that everyone wanted, all the scholars wanted it, everyone in all the states wanted it, which is just a complete lie. And that's why we're turning out to make sure that reproductive freedoms are protected. But again, Donald Trump grasping at straws. He really has nothing to hit Kamala Harris on. He can't talk about her record. He can't talk about her agenda. He can't talk about her character. And so he decided to come up with the strangest attack on Kamala Harris by posting this video from the convention. So Donald Trump posted a video of Kamala Harris as she walked out accepting the Democratic nomination for president and saying thank you, and his response on Truth Social was this: "Too many thank yous, too rapidly said. What's going on with her?" So Donald Trump posted that today, again, still reeling from the campaign, And I don't understand how this is an attack on Kamala Harris. He really has nothing. He's saying that Kamala Harris saying thank you while the crowd is in an uproar, so excited to see Kamala Harris accept the Democratic nomination. They're giving her a standing ovation, and Donald Trump is mad that she kept saying thank you. Kamala Harris was trying to start her speech, but couldn't because there was so much applause and excitement. And that's, I think, what upsets Donald Trump most. But I also think that, like, in that, it's really clear he doesn't understand gratitude and how Kamala Harris was joyful and humbled at this incredible crowd of people there to support her. But Donald Trump doesn't understand the feeling of gratitude and want to thank your supporters for their support. He is just such a broken person. And I don't know why he posted this video, but he also talked about it. This is now a talking point in his stump speech, saying this.
How about her opening where she said, thank you, 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 thank you. I said, what the hell is wrong with her, Deb?
He just clearly doesn't understand thanking people in gratitude or caring about anyone else but yourself. But we have come to expect this from Donald Trump. This is the same old shtick. It's the same old story. And it's the same old story that we want to move on from. And that's exactly what Gavin Newsom had to say right here.
Yeah, but right now you feel the fresh air of progress. You just do. You can't deny that. And there's a stale air of normalcy, a stale air of the past represented in Donald Trump. And I mean this sincerely. I know this tough audience that's going to take it from me. He's derivative of himself. He's less interesting. I'm less interested. He's not as entertaining. He seems way off his game. For some time now, ever since his convention speech, something just seems off.
His attacks are old. His complaints are old. And I think Gavin put it in an interesting way because he was speaking to the Fox audience of saying, it's kind of boring. I never found Donald Trump and his attacks on our democracy entertaining, but I think it's an interesting framing by Gavin for the Fox News audience, the Fox Propaganda Network audience, actually. And I think it's important to drive home the fact that we have been living through Donald Trump for far too long, and wouldn't it be nicer to just move on from it? I think we can all agree. Even Donald Trump's advisors agree, and he talked about that in a campaign speech in which he said this.
No, they really were nasty, and then they say to me, sir, please stick to policy. Don't stick to personality. You should be nice to people, sir. You have to be nice. I call them up, my geniuses, they get paid a fortune. Actually, not that much. But I call up my people. I say, they're knocking the hell out of me, and you say I shouldn't get personal. I have to get personal, don't I?
Even Donald Trump's own advisors are telling him to essentially stop being himself, that people are just so fed up with hearing from Donald Trump. We're just kind of done with it. We'd like it to be over, not only because of the danger he poses to our democracy, but just the division he creates in our country. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have both talked about this. I don't think, and clearly they don't, that America is a fundamentally divided country, but instead Donald Trump is dividing us. He's trying to create the division. It's not something that exists within our nation. It's something that is perpetrated by bad actors like Donald Trump to try to get ahead politically. And it's something that we can move on from. It's something that we can get away from and we can actually unite. Aren't we tired of Donald Trump? Aren't we tired of hearing from him? Aren't we tired of hearing this old guy complain? And saying that, actually, I will take every opportunity I possibly can to play this clip, so I'm going to. But someone who put this message so perfectly was Barack Obama.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Now, as always, President Barack Obama delivering this message, maybe better than anyone else possibly can, but aren't we so tired of these complaints? Barack Obama had a little bit of fun with it, but if we're being serious, if we're just getting down to it, aren't we tired of Donald Trump? I'm sure tired of listening to his voice, talking about them, seeing them, watching them melt down. There's too much orange, too much anger, too much annoyance. Aren't we done? I certainly am. And I think we got to move on. And if you're supportive of that message, I really hope you are. Make sure, as always, to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join what we are building on this channel, and leave a like if you want to support us. And if you want to support a little bit more, you can also hit that join button, become a monthly member. It really goes a long way. And until next time, I'll see you soon.